Walkaround on a 2000 series Case H planter. First off, we'll want to be checking our gauge wheels. This planter does have conceal installed on it, but with our gauge wheels, factory or these, we will want to be checking our lip wear. Make sure that's not getting wore clear back. We'll also be wanting to check all the rubber for any cracks or premature wear out on them to get them replaced before they do go bad. While we're checking these, we want to make sure our bearings are good. With these off, we'll be checking our disc openers. Brand new 15-inch. We need to be replacing these at 14.5 once they get wore off. Also, when we're in here, we want to check and make sure our spin, we have a little bit of contact. That is fine. The recommendation is 0 to 3 millimeter spacing on our disc openers, as well as checking our bearings while we're in there. With our gauge wheels off, we'll also be wanting to check our pins, make sure they aren't getting premature wear, as well as when we put these back on, we want to have a 0 to 1/8 of an inch clearance between our gauge wheel and our disc openers. Along with that, on the front of the row unit, we have clean sweep installed. We want to be checking our cleaner bearings, make sure we don't have any rough spots or catches in those. We can get those replaced ahead of time. Also, we have our clean sweep cylinder up here. We want to be inspecting our boot, make sure we don't have any cracks forming or tears. Also, while we're up here on our airlines, we want to be making sure they're still routed in a good spot. Also be checking for air leaks on those. Good test on those is if we had the planter powered up, have the air compressor running, run these in full lift, and then shut it down. We can come back here and listen for air leaks. Also on the row unit, on our parallel arms, want to be checking these, especially if we're doing a lot of contouring. We have our bushings up here. We do have a new bushing option up here now. That's a little bit better than the poly from the factory, so we want to be checking those. Also, when we're up here, we'll be checking our downforce cylinder, make sure we don't have any leaks on any lines, or on this row we got our in-row plugs. And also, since we're here, be checking our harness routing, make sure nothing's getting into a spot where it's going to be getting pinched. As we go back further, we'll get to our closing discs. Those are 9-inch new, 8-inch replace. Also, something to mention on these, if we're running some older planters, older 2000 series planters, if it hasn't been done yet, there is an update kit for our pivot here. We went back to a bolt and a bearing instead of the pin that we were having problems with these getting seized and getting stuck up and that sort of thing. Also, with our closing discs, we have our air lines running back to our in-cab adjust clean sweep cylinder. We'll want to be checking for air leaks here, check hose routing, make sure we aren't getting any wear spots on any of these hoses, make sure they're all good. And as we step back further yet, our press wheel, we'll want to be checking bearings on these, checking condition of rubber, and our pattern. These can start getting wore down. After you ran a couple years, they will have a little bit of fine dirt in them. We'll just want to make sure that we don't have an excess of hard spots in these as they get fine dirt in them, because that does affect how the press wheel functions in the field. But we'll just be wanting to check that pattern for wear.